Good evening, everyone. My name is Darryl Kinsey Jr., host of Apex to Asphalt, welcoming you in for today, April 20th, 2026. Christopher Lehman and Larry B will be with me in a moment. Freddie B of the Racelets podcast will be with us to talk IndyCar at about 8:15. But we start with somber news over the weekend as we got a harsh reminder of the dangers of motorsports. Motorsports is a pursuit of limits, but this week we were forced to confront the reality of what exceeding the limit means. We are starting out tonight's show in a somber place as we mourn two losses in the racing community. In South America, during a rally event over the weekend, a spectator lost their life. Out of respect to the family, that individual's name is not being released at this time. But what we do know is that the spectator was a 25-year-old man just beginning his adult life. To lose a member of the crowd, someone who showed up simply to share in the passion of motorsports, is a tragedy that vibrates through every person who has ever stood behind a catch fence or on a grassy embankment to catch a glimpse of a passing race car. Compounding that grief, we also lost Juha Miettinen at the Nürburgring. Juha wasn't just a name on the timing screen. He was a husband, a father, and a competitor. Juha was a regular in the NLS. He was not there because the contract told him to be. He was there because he spent his own time and his own money to race the number 121 BMW in the NLS. He was very active on Instagram, posting about his racing endeavors, everyday life with his family, and his travels across the globe. Moments like these serve as a humbling, agonizing reminder that the consequences of this sport are very real and they are final. The dirt, the snow, the asphalt, and the machines we obsess over every Monday night don't care about our narratives. They are indifferent to our statistics. When things go wrong, the cost is paid in human life. It is a sobering reality that grounds us. It reminds us that every driver who buckles in, every mechanic who turns a wrench, and every fan who stands roadside is participating in something inherently fragile. Tonight, we're going to have a positive and fun conversation about motorsports. As I said at the top, Larry B, the founder of IE Sports Radio, will be with us to talk about the NHRA season to this point. And Freddie B from the Racelets podcast is here to talk about the Long Beach doubleheader. But these conversations will wait. Right now, we are here to sit with the gravity of these losses, and we offer our deepest condolences to the Miettinen family, to the loved ones of the spectator in South America, and to the entire Global Motorsports family that feels a little smaller this evening. We race because we love it, but we pause because we respect the cost paid. Please join us in a moment of reflection as we begin a very difficult episode of Apex to Asphalt. Thank you. And welcoming to the program now, Larry B, Christopher Lehman. Freddie B has also joined in. He will be with us in just a little bit to talk IndyCar. And we will now try to pivot from there into the recap of the weekend that was in racing. We will start, of course, with NASCAR in Kansas, where the race win tally at Toyota continues to improve as they sweep the weekend in Kansas. Taylor Gray wins the Kansas Lottery 300 in the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, while Tyler Reddick just dominating the Cup Series. Fifth win in 9 races in a dramatic overtime finish in the Advent Health 400. Chris, tell us about Supercross.
In Monster Energy Supercross, they were in Cleveland, Ohio for a Triple Crown. In the 250 East, Yamaha picked up the Triple Crown win, but no, it wasn't Cole Davies. It was Nate Thrasher, who took his first win of the season with a second, first, fourth place result. And in 450s, Ken Roxon just eked out the win over Cooper Webb with a 2-2-1 finish. Larry?
Long Beach, California was the mecca of racing this week, hosting both IMSA and IndyCar for a doubleheader weekend. IndyCar, Alex Palou follows up his dominant win at Barber with yet another dominant win in Long Beach. Felix Rosenquist dominated the beginning 2/3 of the race. However, Palou, that pit crew put the team on their backs, man, with nearly a perfect 8.4 second pit stop, getting Palou the lead, and the rest is history. Palou reclaims the championship points from Kyle Kirkwood, and well, it's going to be a fun season ahead of us, but this guy is looking like last year. On to you, Darryl, for IMSA.
Yeah, Palou, much like Tyler Reddick, is inevitable. We stay in Long Beach when we move to the other side of the paddock for IMSA. Acura finally secured their first win since becoming the title sponsor of the event in 2019, and it wasn't easy. Renger Funderzande, that is the nationality pronunciation, not the American pronunciation, had his hands full in the closing minutes as the number 31 Whelen Cadillac of Frederick Vesti was charging. The Meyershank Acura won by just 0.8 of a second on Saturday evening. While in GTD, it was the Vassar Sullivan Racing Lexus piloted by Aaron Tielitz and Benjamin Peterson who picked up the win after leading the final 40 minutes. Chris, let's go to Australia.
Yeah, well, not Australia this week, Darryl.
Oh, New Zealand this week. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And
lit up in the comments for that one. Continue.
Yeah. In Repco Supercars, races 10 through 13 of the season were historic as Supercars visited the South Island of New Zealand for the first time in series history when they raced at Ruapuna Speedway for the ITM Christchurch 440. Sophomore Kai Allen of Penrite Racing won on Friday his first career victory in Repco Supercars. Race 11 on Saturday went to Brody Kostecki of DJR. Races 12 and 13 were both won by Kai Allen's teammate at Penrite Racing, Matt Payne. However, the man who left Christchurch the happiest was Red Bull Ampol Racing's Brock Feeney, who went home with the championship points lead and, more importantly, the Jason Richards Memorial Trophy, which is awarded to the driver who scores the most points in New Zealand. And finish us up, Larry.
If the Tifosi are used to anything, it is a gut punch from the strategy team as the World Endurance Championship visited Ferrari's home turf at Imola. Despite locking out the top 3 spots in qualifying, a strategic match class by Toyota won them their 50th hypercar win on their 100th start in LMGT3. It was a heartbreak for the number 59 McLaren. They started on pole and dominated the race until a technical failure in the final stages handed the win to the number 69 team, Team WRT BMW, who is debuting the new updated BMW M4 GT3 Evo.
And that is our wrap-up of the weekend that was in motorsports. And Larry, I will say I've never heard the actual pronunciation of Imola before. So thank you for that. It helps to know a resident Italian when it comes to things like that.
Imola. Yes.
Yeah. I'll put that one in the memory bank. So, hey, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Larry B is here to talk to us about cars that go very fast in a straight line. We're going to wrap up the NHRA as it is right now, and then we'll have Freddie B on to talk IndyCar and IMSA in Long Beach. Sit tight. We'll be right back after this.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the iSports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at iSports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making iSports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
All right, and we're back here on Apex to Asphalt here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Darryl, Christopher, and joining us tonight, the CEO of IE Sports Radio, Mr. Larry B. Also, one of our resident NHRA fans is here to talk to us about the NHRA and the season at a glance. We're going into the only 4 white Nats of the year in Charlotte, which that is a controversial event since its inception. We'll talk about that, of course, next week. But we're here to talk about really some of the highlights from the season that was. And Larry, it's nice to have the NHRA back. I know I'm excited because they were in your neck of the woods last week. They're going to be in my neck of the woods at the end of May.
It has been such a fun season, man. I mean, we got so many things to talk about, of course, today. I know we're keeping it short and sweet, but it's going to be really fun, man. I mean, we got a lot to get to. I mean, Matt Hagan making things happen right after Smoke makes things happen. Those two are becoming really close friends. You can see there's some kind of camaraderie there between those two. But John Force, we got some news with John Force Racing. Gainesville, I mean, again, we can talk a little bit about them Gator Nats. I mean, 75th year of the NHRA. This has truly been a really cool start, and I'm excited, Darryl, to jump on and talk with you for a little bit about the NHRA, man.
Yep, so let's get started with the Nitro ranks in Pomona. That was the most recent race, and in Top Fuel, Tony Stewart takes Elite Motorsports to their first win in history as a Top Fuel team. They have been dominant in pro stock for many a year, and they come to Top Fuel. Tony Stewart moves over there after giving the keys to his wife's car back to Leah Pruitt, and he comes out there and wins. And I don't know what to say about Tony Stewart at this point as a race car driver. I'm out of superlatives to talk about him. I think one time on the NHRA broadcast, they ran down, he's won a race or a championship in like 20 different series.
How could you not call him one of the all-time greatest drivers behind any wheel? I mean, the guy is insane. I mean, dominating early on. He came into NASCAR, did not make no friends, Darryl. No friends at all when he jumped into NASCAR. Both of you guys know that, driving that Home Depot number 20, okay, a while back. And, it's really cool seeing him. I mean, the man has raced in IMSA before. He's raced, obviously, at the Rolex. I mean, he's done his thing. He's raced in IndyCar several years. The highest he ever gotten was, third, I think, in IndyCar in the Indy 500. The guy, and now look at him. He's in the NHRA. I mean, you give him something with wheels, he's going to do something with it. So I'm really excited. Super cool, Darryl. Talk about this really fast. I mean, he won his first Top Fuel Wally of the season alongside Hagan. It was a team double up, but across 2 different technical alliances, as Hagan is still technically under the TSR umbrella, while Stewart is pioneering the Elite Nitro program. But overall, man, just again, after filling in for Leah last year, I mean, Stewart is now a seasoned Top Fuel veteran and Elite. The Elite partnership seems to have given him a performance edge he didn't have at the end of the season last year.
Yeah, and in Top Fuel Funny Car, it was the 1,000th event for Funny Car at Pomona, and Matt Hagan ends up picking up that win just after the passing of his aunt, takes the Diamond Wally home, and that's a great run for Matt Hagan. He has been one of the stalwarts in that class. He's trying to get Tony Stewart to drive a Funny Car. Tony's answer has been hell no. hopefully we'll get to see that. But I hate to take away from Matt Hagan, but anytime we talk about funny car, we're going to talk about John Force.
Yes.
And I wish he could have been in a car for this, but it is what it is.
I'm totally with you. I mean, look, anytime. Remember the time? Okay, look, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, 9 years ago now, Darryl, 9 years ago, we talked to the legendary Mario Andretti, okay, on IE Sports Radio, on this show when it was the Extra Mile. And I'll tell you right now, you heard him. You heard how excited Mario says, I'll get in the car right now. I mean, he does not. That's John. Same exactly. John, I mean, I know he gave a very serious retirement speech and everything when he said, I was taken out of the car, and everything. But I don't know, Darryl, don't give him the icks. That man might find himself one more time in the car. I don't know. I'm just saying that's him. But I know dang well he would have loved to have been a part of this event. And honestly, as big as the NHRA is getting, he's a big reason why it got that big.
Yeah, but we've seen so many great moments in NHRA. We know John Force is basically the king of the funny cars at one point. We got to see his daughters jump into the cars. We saw Matt Hagan come up and win the championships. J.R. Todd was the first African-American to win a championship in funny car when he claimed his first title a few years ago. So many great moments of the sport in funny car. And it is a class that Top Fuel is definitely the highlight class, but of the Nitro classes, funny car is just insane. They are working in those cars, and it's only gotten so much harder to control those cars over the year.
Definitely. And seeing Matt Hagan win the 1000, another guy who was also on IE Sports Radio about 6 years ago during the COVID, the Black Flag, remember?
COVID Red Flag, we had Matt Hagan on.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, during the Red Flag, I mean, it was really cool. I mean, again, just really great guy. What a great event, but what a guy to win it. I mean, again, I'm cheering for them all, but I mean, he got it done. What a amazing, and it's crazy because what's funny, Darryl, obviously they did that on purpose. Usually it's Top Fuel that finishes it out. It's kind of funny, it's funny for those who, there were some people on Twitter that were like, why is funny car going last? I mean, the flip flop obviously to make them the main event, but yeah, that was super cool. And again, just, it was really cool. He defeated his longtime rival Ron Capps in the final round to secure the milestone. I mean, look, the trophy. Look, because it's the 75th anniversary, he was awarded a special Diamond Wally, a unique trophy that, this was just really special. And I'm just so happy for him and those guys.
Yeah, so happy for Matt Hagan to take home that trophy. And we'll see how Top Fuel goes in another 1,000 races. We get start 1,001 at the four wides. Josh Hart took the win at Gainesville earlier this year, looking like a legitimate title contender right now. His first time in a big time ride after owning his own car for many years. That brings John Force back to 4 cars, 3 in funny car, 1 in Top Fuel with Hart. And the big conversation this year was what was going to happen in NHRA in funny car with the Procs going over to Bob Tasca's team, and they've struggled after going over there, while John Force Racing just seems to keep on clicking.
It's awesome, Darryl. This is a great, I love the roster right now. You got, good old Beckman, there. I mean, Robert Height, I love it. Josh Hart now joined the team to be in that Top Fuel dragster. I mean, I just love it, man. This is a special team, and seeing John Force Racing be able to have this, to me, this is something that I just love because, again, growing up, just being such a huge fan, look, having 4 cars, okay, 4 cars worth of data again is making JFR look like the dominant force, the force team that they were in the mid 2010s. So I mean, again, Josh Hart now title contender. Josh Hart moves to John Force Racing, has immediate paid dividends. I mean, again, he won the Gator Nats, his hometown race, pretty cool in his very start with JFR. I mean, I don't know. I just got to say, unlike previous years, where he ran as an independent and struggled with mid-season funding, to being part of JFR, it means that he has the parts and really the brain trust, to make it happen all season long. I have so much faith in this guy, and I'm really excited to see what he brings to JFR.
And we are, as we said, this is the 75th year of NHRA. And in 75 years, we've seen cars go from 200 miles per hour to 300 miles per hour to 340 in top fuel. We've seen all the pro stocks go over 200 miles per hour. They're in the 210. We've now got bikes.
Yes.
Motorcycles going over 200 miles per hour, which, God bless them, would never be me. We've seen so much in the NHRA in terms of development. We've seen classes come and go. Who remembers Pro Stock Truck back in the day? That short-lived class. I miss that so much.
Me too.
They need to bring Pro Stock Truck back, man. It
I
was
want
so
that.
cool.
Those things were awesome. And those fat tires, those trucks, they looked awesome. And I mean, obviously,
Yes.
monsters on the racetrack. I know. I really hope we can get that back.
Yeah, we've seen some more classes come in this year. We saw Factory X come in, but that class kind of didn't catch on the way they wanted to. The Factory Stock Showdown, though, has become a premier event for grassroots drivers all over. You can just go to a dealership and buy that drag car, whether it be Chevy, Dodge, or Ford. You can take it right to the NHRA and race. But that gets back to the ethos of what Wally Parks was trying to do. Because, yes, we're here for the pro teams and to see them go fast on a weekend, and they do pay the bills. But at the end of the day, the NHRA was founded to give grassroots racers some place to race without getting arrested, is basically why they did it, why Wally Parks started the NHRA, and that still lives on at the NHRA division tracks all across the country.
Isn't it great? You have Wally Parks, and then you have NASCAR coming from bootleggers. I'm just saying, hey, look, you gotta love it, right? I mean, this is the origins of what we all love here, our auto sports. And again, I'm just thankful to Wally Parks. I'm so grateful that we've been around for 75 years now. This is just, again, this is my all-time favorite. I love this sport, and I'm just so excited for what's to come now. 1,000 races into them funny cars, 75 years in to the NHRA. I mean, it's awesome, man. I'm really excited. And overall, I mean, just a quick overlook at the points there. I don't know if you mind really quick, but Doug Kalita and Sean Lagdon doing their things, man. They're having a lot of fun there at the top of Top Fuel. I know we're just so close. Josh Hart trails right along there. I mean, this is a fun class, right? Funny car. You got Ron Capps and Matt Hagan. They're dead tied at 250. Super cool. J.R. Todd right behind them, trailing by 27. And Darryl, I got to say, a pro stock is going to be fun again because Dallas Glenn is going to look like he did and like how he has been. But there's that guy. That one guy. Oh, yeah, the one. Yeah, the one who you never take your eyes off. He could be dead last in the points, and he's coming. Mr. Greg Anderson right there. I mean, we're only a couple events in, Darryl. But again, I'm here for the ride. I'm so excited. I'm excited to be here on Apex Asphalt all season long talking about all this, man. Really excited. Again, thanks again for having me, man. I'm so excited for being here. I know we got some more to talk about, but I got plenty more here if you if you guys got it, man. So I'm excited, and thank you again for this.
And then we've got in the bikes, Richard Gatson is leading by 30 over John Hall. And Gage Herrera, though, in the bikes, 7th in points. What is going on over there? I haven't seen him that far down in forever.
The guy who has dominated the bikes for quite some time. Yeah, I know it's kind of weird, right? I mean, and Darryl, you and I had joked heavily about a certain somebody wanting to take his bike and go home after Gage Herrera kept on winning.
Yeah, we had that conversation. I remember that.
That was fun. But hey, that's what happens when somebody dominates like Mark Marquez, okay, out there. I'm just saying, in MotoGP. I mean, this is amazing. I'm really happy that he's had that great run, but now he's got some adversity on him. He had some adversity. Let's see what he can do. But I'll tell you what, though, I'm a big Gage fan. I think he's great. But how about Gatson, man? How about this guy? How about him? Like I'm a big fan of his too. I love what he brings to the table. He's got that positive, uplifting personality. I'm really excited, man. The bikes are going to be really fun to watch this year all season long.
Yeah, and I love it for him, and I love that he's leading the championship because he got a lot of flack for. And I don't know why he got flack for this, for how he won the championship. it wasn't his fault that it rained for 40 days and 40 nights out there. There was nothing that y'all could do about that. And they tried like hell to get that track dry on that Sunday, but they figured out real fast it wasn't going to work. But he's showing right now with the speed that he has that last year was not a fluke.
No. And when he won a couple weeks ago, I loved it because he had said something very fun to the camera. Okay, because we all know NHRA has a little bit of pro wrestling in it, because I love the ending. The interviews are so much fun at the end, and there's the walk away. John Forrest was great with that. Okay, have a ton to say really, really, really fast, and then just walk away. Take a drink of his. I love what Richard Gadsden said to everybody when he said, again, he said it. Last year was not a fluke. I'm here to do it again. As you can see, I won it again here today. And he says, and there is something I would love to say to everybody who said those things about me winning the championship last year, but I can't say it because there'll be too many censorships on this program.
I think I know what he wanted to say, but hey, Larry, thank you so much. One more thing before we go. Hood Scoops coming back to Pro Stock next year in an effort to save money and get more engine combinations that aren't Camaro out there at this point. They're going back to a top-mounted 4-barrel style throttle body, which means they're going to bring the hood scoop back to feed the air in. Pro Stock getting its classic look back. That's great, but people like to call it Pro Camaro at this point, but you've got to have buy-in from Ford and Dodge, because Chevy is the only one with a factory program. And that is why you're sitting here with a bunch of Camaros.
And you're totally right, Darryl. Look, why this matters in closing for me today. Again, I've really enjoyed myself. Thank you guys again for having me for this. I'm looking forward to doing this all season long. But in 2016, man, Pro Stock went to the fuel injection and flat hoods. Okay. And which many fans felt that took away the tough look, of the class. And you know what? I love it. The 2027 rules will switch to a dual full, as you just said, dual throttle body, the EFI setup that requires a scoop for clearance and intake. So I love that. It's a move to make the car look more like the mountain motor monsters of the 90s, while keeping the modern EFI technology. So overall, I'm really excited for this. I think it's going to be really neat to see those cars. And again, man, this is going to be a really fun season. So again, congratulations to all of our winners from Pomona a few weeks ago. And definitely congratulations to Smoke getting it done. And big time, big ups to Hagen for winning that thing, man. So in funny cars. So again, guys, I'm really excited. I appreciate you guys again for having me. I look forward to joining all season long, man. So I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to the rest of the show, by the way. We got a lot of great stuff to happen, man. Supercars is awesome. The dual racing there at the beach. Just loving it, man. So thanks again, you guys. I really appreciate you. And looking forward to many, many, many more shows all the way till December this year. Or November for me.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you so much, Larry, and we will be checking in with you as NHRA continues the rest of the year. Have a good one. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Awesome. Will do. Thanks, guys.
Yep. So that's Larry B, and we're going to continue right along here as we have another guy with the last name B joining us, as Freddie B is now here to discuss the Long Beach weekend. Freddie B of the Racelets podcast and the Neutral Zone, and a whole bunch of other shows here on iSports Radio as well. Freddie, welcome in, and how was the Long Beach weekend? Oh, can you hear us? Oh, you're muted. Got some technical difficulties here. There we go. Say
Hey.
something.
That better?
Yes.
We got you.
You got static on your end?
Nope.
No. Okay, cool. Hey guys.
Howdy.
Go ahead.
Hey, how was Long Beach?
I just woke up from a much needed nap. I'm still trying to recover from just an insane, crazy, like 12 hours a day, weekend here at Long Beach. It was an awesome weekend. So much that went on, and I'm still trying to recoup now. That's the problem when you go to the events and you cover them, is that it's not fun and games. A lot of it, you're working the entire time. So I probably got 25,000 steps in every day, and
I'd love that.
It's grueling. Yeah, I
Yeah,
got a killer tan though, so that's good.
I remember that when I worked Pocono in 2019 and huffing it all around that place. I went home that Sunday night and just went straight to sleep.
Oh yeah.
Do not know how I got back up on Monday, but it was an awesome weekend.
Yeah, that's
an awesome experience.
Yeah, and I drove to and from every day, so that was like it was taxing. And props to my daughter. She is the heart and soul of Racelets, and she's putting out some really good content that I'm sure you guys will be checking out here shortly. She's working hard trying to get all these awesome videos together that she did this weekend. But what do you think, man? What about the race, guys? Give me your honest opinion.
Well, I have it written down here in the notes as we get to IndyCar. I just want to touch on IMSA real quick.
Yeah.
That race was on Saturday. Porsche finally got pegged back, but they basically had to put 100 pounds in the car to pull them back. Or no, it was 100 kilos, sorry, to pull them back on the rest of the field. They're going to have to come a little bit back on that, but that just shows how dominant Porsche was. And how good was it to see Robert Wickens back in a car in GTD running the sprints?
It was great. We were there on Thursday for a media luncheon, and Robert Wickens and Mason Filippi, his driving partner, sat at the table that we were at together. So we had a really good conversation. And I mean, I've always been a huge fan of Robert, and unfortunate accident left him paralyzed, and then just the inspiration that he has and the drive and the determination. He could have easily given up, racing, and to see him back in a car and doing what he does is just, it's inspiring. And I let him know that. And I mean, I love the guy. I don't know exactly. I didn't see their result. Where did they finish in the race? I believe
they were fourth, but
were they fourth? Okay. I'm trying to pull it up here too, because let's see. Claps.
Got it. So they were Wickens. I need to make this bigger. Oh, I made this too big. Hold on.
Oh, they finished sixth.
Okay, 6.
Yeah.
Okay, now I gotta fix my screen. Hold on. What have I done? There we go. Lord have mercy. Okay, so yeah, they ended up 6th. I think they started on the pole for that race too. So it was a great run for Wickens on the weekend. It was great to see him out there with using the hand controls. They want to try to get him into the endurance races at some point. Right. And to run the full season, which I think we would all love to see Robert Wickens going for a championship again at some point.
I think that's going to happen here shortly, to be honest. His relationship with Meyershank and that's what he's with, right? Meyershank. Yeah.
Well, he's with DXD right now.
Oh, sorry, DX. Yeah, DXDT Racing.
Excuse me.
Yes, driving that Chevy Corvette. Yeah, I like to see him get into something a little bit more permanent. And I mean, Robert's just a great guy. Like I said, inspiration. I mean, if there's any story that gives you faith that you can do and overcome anything, just check him out and look at the Robert Wickens story. It's amazing.
Yep.
So we'll go ahead and get into IndyCar, and we'll start with the new Fast 6 rule for qualifying to street courses. Everyone goes out one at a time. It's more of a time attack, one-shot type qualifying. You got to see it firsthand at Long Beach. What did you think?
Sure did. It's still not perfect, but it's good. I do like it. I like that you can choose your selector spot based on where you finished in the top 12. So obviously, I think it was David Malukas was number 1 overall. He chose to go first in that Fast Six. One thing that after talking to some of the team mechanics and engineers was they want to say, hey, everybody's got to start on a fresh set of tires. That could be a possibility that they may start throwing around later on.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had a nice commercial break halfway through the Fast Six. So the top 3 cars go, then they have a commercial break. It takes them about another 5 minutes. So those who were waiting, brakes temps cooling, tire temps cooling, that it's not going to be a perfect scenario, but I do like how it played out. And what can you say? Felix Rosenqvist just threw down a huge lap there and picking up his second pole in the last 3 years at Long Beach and doing so, beating out Alex Palou and Pato O'Ward, finishing second, starting second in that race to start the race. His best overall starting position in Long Beach as well. Scott Dixon was out there just throwing blister laps in qualifying. He was the guy that I was worried about as a possibility to capture pole. Unfortunately, he didn't, but a great result from him nonetheless. But I do like the format. And I think there are going to be some tweaks as we go on. Detroit is the next street race in which this is going to happen. So we'll see what happens. But I don't think it really matters right now where Alex Palou starts the race because he's still going to finish in the same position, starting P3 yesterday and going on to win that. That was incredible.
And there is Alex Palou,
yes,
who took the win on Sunday. He is inevitable at this point, and he's decided to stay with us in IndyCar instead of trying to go over to Formula One, which with the state of Formula One right now, that's a good call. He's writing himself into the annals as one of the greatest drivers to ever step into an Indy car.
Yeah.
And he's still young, so he's got a lot of time to break a lot of records. What can we say about him at this point that we haven't said over the last 2 years, it seems like?
I mean, he had never won at Long Beach before, so that's just another box that he checked off in his illustrious career, already in IndyCar. And three wins in the first 5 races. He's well on his way to doing what he did last year. He regained the points lead in the championship standings. And now we're going to Indy in a couple of weeks. He won Indy GP and the 500 last year. If he could capitalize on that again, he could have a nice little bumper in the points total, but we'll see what happens. But he gives all the credit out there to his team and his crew. He's very humble, a very humble driver, very gracious driver, and checks his ego at the door. I don't even think he has one, to be honest with you. He's just excellent. I mean, there's really nothing you could say bad about Alex. He has that smile on his face constantly, and the other guys, it's starting to get to them already. Pato O'Ward was saying, hey, we just call this the Alex Palou series and see if anybody else can offer up a win. That yellow, I went to go use the restroom, and Rosenqvist was still leading at the time, and they came in for that second round of pit stops. And I come back out, and there's 30 laps left, and I see Rosenqvist on the scoreboard as number 2, and I'm like, oh, shoot, was it Alex, the one who caused the yellow? No, sure enough, he was the one. Pit strategy, was able to overtake, and then he went on to win that race, clean, hands down. It was the battle for third that was really good. That was a really good match right there for most of that race. That battle between third and fifth. Scott Dixon in there, Pato O'Ward was in there, David Malukas was in there for a while. Kyle Kirkwood, a great race as well. He did, lose a couple of points to Alex in the championship. I think Kyle's going to be okay. But everybody down from 1 is going to be jumbled up. This is a really good series still. It was a processional race yesterday, really not much action on track. However, though, the yellow came out at just the most unfortunate time, I think, for Renus BK, as Renus was one of the only ones on a 3-stopper, and he had a chance to finish top 5 possible podium had that caution not come out at that time. So, good to see him racing hard and clean. And I don't know what do you say about Alex Palou at this point, Darryl?
He is inevitable, much like
Yeah.
Tyler Reddick at this point. He anytime he climbs into a car, he's going to be a threat to win. In the courtroom, probably not as much, but I don't think he's thinking about any of that right now. Heading into May and a chance to get a second Indy 500 championship on his already Hall of Fame resume. And speaking of which, the Indy 500 has been a talk of conversation. It's looking like getting a 33 is cutting it pretty close. We just got the announcement today that Jacob Abel is going to be attempting to start the race with his family-owned team. I think that gets us a 32.
32. The official Catherine Legg announcement should be coming with RLL, and I think that gets us at 33.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody I saw all weekend down in the paddock who, quite frankly, is deserving of a seat in IndyCar in the series, especially, give him a chance at the 500, is Linus Lundqvist. And I talked with Linus over the weekend, and he's like, hey, man, I'm just out here. I bring my helmet with me every weekend. I'm prepared to go to battle. And I mean, we're talking about a former rookie of the year who lost his job the next season. I think we're going to see him. I don't know if we're going to see him. I don't think we're going to get to 34 in the field. So that kind of throws bump day out the window. But at least we can set the field at 33 and go from there. Yeah, we'll see, man. I mean, Jacob Abel didn't qualify last year. He was the one that was bumped out.
Yeah.
And, Catherine Legg, hasn't been very successful in her attempts over the last few years as well. DNFing and early on in all of those races. So we'll see what happens when we get to Indy. Open testing is next week, starting in Indy. So those cars are going to be there for the next 5 to 6 weeks in Indianapolis, getting ready for both the GP and then the 500.
And we did hear Prema is not going to be at the Indy 500. We really don't know what's going on with that segment of that operation. We know that the European leg is still running as normal. Did you hear anything down there about Long Beach about their plans? And if at this point they're even going to be coming back this year?
No, and I even talked to Callum Ilott down there in Long Beach, and he didn't have anything newsworthy to share as far as that goes. And that sucks because that's another really good driver that is not able to race. Now we got a couple other guys in the series that are definitely, I think, could be replaceable, after the end of this year. The number 77 car of Stingray, I think, is the one that's going to be out here very soon. And Nolan Siegel possibly in Aero, but again, he I don't know how it happened. He was 24th and 25th pretty much the entire race, and he ends up finishing P12 yesterday. So good on him, though, for his finish yesterday. But a lot of talent out there, Darryl, and I just don't know what's happening.
Well, Stingray
also,
Rob, past guest of the show during the COVID red flag. We've been rooting for him, but it just isn't coming together. And at this point, I don't know if there's enough money to scrape together for the finishes that he's brought home. It's unfortunate. Nolan Siegel's also had his own struggles. He may be on his way out, but that's 2 seats for 2 guys that are currently looking for teams. And poor Robert Schwartzman was the rookie of the year in the Indy 500 and won't even be there this year. Yeah,
I know. I don't know what to tell you. I just wish that I think Reinbold's going to be back. Dry Reinbold's going to be back and hopefully have a seat and a 2-teamer next year in the IndyCar series. I'm hoping we can get to that point. I know that was their direction in the future, so we'll see what happens. I hope Prema could at least get out there the second half of this season and get some races done, but we'll see what happens. On the future side of things in IndyCar, it was nice to see some of the next drivers down there as well at Long Beach.
Oop. I think we may have lost.
Sorry.
Okay.
Still there?
Yep, we got you.
Yeah, sorry, I got some technical issues here today. In the ECR tent, Nikita Johnson was with ECR all weekend. We know what he's already doing in Indy Next. Max Taylor was there with Andretti. It's good to see these young guys, man, 16, 17 years old. They're getting a feel of what it's like in the big leagues, and they're going to be there sooner than later. Oliver Weldon was there as well. Got to chat with Ollie a little bit, so that was really cool. And yeah, the future is bright in IndyCar, definitely. And we'll see some stuff changing, but going forward, it's going to be who could top Alex at this point. Will Power had a good chance. He had a really good car this weekend. Unfortunately, he makes contact with Kyle Collette's crew member, costing him a drive-through penalty late in that race when he had a for sure top 10 finish. So his struggles results-wise continue, but we've seen a rejuvenation with him at Andretti, which is huge. And it's great to see Will Power back out there doing what he does. David Malukas, still the head of the class as far as the Penske drivers go. Another great top 10 finish for David this weekend. He's doing incredible. I think he's moved up to third right now in the point standings. So good on David for that. And we'll see what happens going forward.
So one more thing before we get you out of here. IndyCar had that technical bulletin come out today about the push to pass, the software glitch that caused push to pass to be available in lap 62 restart. 12 drivers used it, but there were no penalties, as there really no positions changed from that. We've heard a lot of conversation about the push to pass over the last 2 years and that software. It just sounds like an unfortunate glitch, and they'll get it figured out. Did they say anything post race on Sunday?
I didn't know about it until this morning, to be honest with you, when the news broke. No, I saw it early this morning. I don't think there was an announcement made yesterday at all. And the only drivers that really affected position wise, I think, was Marcus Armstrong and Santino Ferrucci were the two guys that flopped the position. I don't know. Going back to Long Beach, the one thing Graham Rahal said after this race that could make it a little bit more exciting than it was, because it was just a procession, basically. There was no passing. It was just single formation driving, is either reducing it back to 80 laps or increasing it another 10, making it a full 3-stop. That would have made it a 3-stop race for everybody. Pretty much the entire field just did it on 2 stops. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what tweaks they make. James Liu is the new head at Long Beach now, taking over for Jim McKillian, who passed away. Penske's got their hand in things at the track there in Long Beach now as well. We'll see some things change. Just make it a little bit more exciting. I mean, I'm not going to be disappointed with the result. I wanted to see Alex win. My wife was there, and she wanted to see Alex win, so she got her wish. And but we'll see. I just like the last couple of years, there really hasn't been any cautions. The only caution we had yesterday was debris on the track. There was, nobody's going into the runoffs. Nobody's getting into the tire barriers. Nobody's getting into the fountain flowers over there, in turns 3 and 4. So we'll see what happens. One thing I wanted to say, I had a cool ride-along experience in a pace car on Saturday, which was just freaking amazing. I mean,
that's cool.
Got up to like 106, 108 on the straightaways, and then taking those turns, getting over the bumps and everything like that. It was pretty amazing. So I did like it. It was an overall tremendous weekend. Long Beach, the Monaco of IndyCar. It's the second best race. It's the crowd, this, other than the Indy 500, in my opinion, as the premier races. And it was good. I talked to Mick Schumacher, a guy who has never raced here before as well. And he loved racing down here in Long Beach, and just the prestigiousness of it and how much it means to these guys to do good here is really cool. And it's going to be a heck of a fight down the stretch. We're about a third of the way almost into this season. Still a lot of racing to go, Darryl, but we're heading in that direction where that number 10 car going for 4 in a row.
Yeah.
He only just took the points lead back. He's not running away with it.
No, not running away yet, but
no, he went from 2 down to 17 up. And
yeah,
like I said, we go to the GP where he dominated last year. If he could, who knows? He could be up 30 plus points again after the month of May, and then we'll be talking about a four consecutive. Who's the last champion in any professional sports that's won 4 in a row? I can't
Max.
give anything off the top of my head. Max, yes. I mean, incredible, right?
Yep.
So we'll see. Thank you guys for having me on today, man. I'm still trying to recuperate. I'll be getting a lot of content out a little bit later. I've got plenty of pictures and photos and stuff like that to upload. So I'll be working hard over the next couple of days.
Yep. So before we let you go, we got one quick segment. We've got viewership numbers for the Masters out, and we'll wrap that up with racing. Chris, take it away.
So late last week after our show, the viewership numbers for the Masters and then NASCAR at Bristol were released. The Masters on Sunday averaged 14 million viewers, with over 20 million tuned in for the final hour.
Mm-hmm.
NASCAR at Bristol averaged slightly below 2 million viewers. Now, we're not suggesting that a slowly dying spring Bristol race is at all comparable to the Masters, which is the unanimous consensus for the most prestigious golf tournament in the world. But I have a couple numbers here. So the Indy 500 in 2024 averaged 5.02 million viewers, and in 2025 averaged 7.09 million viewers. So that is credited to, which I think we're all familiar with here, the Fox surge,
absolutely,
they're calling it,
mm-hmm.
where viewership increased by 41%. The Daytona 500, looking at last year, 6.76 million viewers, which was impacted by rain delays. And then this year was 7.49 million viewers, with a peak of 9.15 million viewers for the final 15 minutes. Now, my question to you guys, would NASCAR and IndyCar benefit from putting these races up on their websites, their apps, and on YouTube for free?
I think anything would benefit for it if they have more access. I think that's at the end of the day. We've seen we've seen the slide of NASCAR viewership as more of it gets taken off of broadcasts and onto cable. So putting it up live free, maybe on the NASCAR app, or because I listen to MRN through the NASCAR app when I'm in the car. And IndyCar used to be able to listen to the IMS radio network, but I don't know if they got rid of that or what. But I didn't see it in there.
Yeah, you could still listen through the IndyCar app, and I think if through SiriusXM, the IndyCar channel on there. That's a great point. I think IndyCar finally this season, every race is being nationally broadcast on Fox. We're not doing Fox 1, Fox 2. It's on, every race is on Fox, which is a step in the right direction. And you've seen their ratings grow from each race so far this season as well. I don't know what the numbers were for Long Beach. I'm sure that they were probably pretty good. I don't know if they really had anything going up against this weekend. I mean, we had NHL and NBA playoffs starting.
No, they didn't really.
WrestleMania maybe take some viewerships away. I don't know. Nobody watches that crap anymore.
I did. It was not great.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
It was not. Sunday was not great.
No, it wasn't. I caught the highlights of it, but yeah, I mean, I think IndyCar is gonna. And I said it earlier. the direction and the feel and the vibe I get is that it's going to end up, reaching to the point where NASCAR is, and maybe sooner rather than later, it may overtake as being the most popular American motorsports series going on.
Mhm.
It's growing, and if they can continue to build upon the success, get into up more markets as far as tracks go. I know they're working in Brazil. They're trying to get in Mexico, maybe get down to Surfers Paradise again, maybe get to Watkins Glen, do something like that. This thing could really blow up and maybe get it to a 20 race season. I think is where they're trying to get, is to extend it a little bit. But we talked, I think, earlier in the preview for this season is in the IndyCar schedule, especially now with them being on Fox and races on Sundays, you start getting into the start of the NFL season.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Whereas, NASCAR has those other avenues. They can go to TNT, I think, or whoever else that they may be doing their broadcasts with later on as the season goes on. And then with F1, it's Apple. I don't want to see IndyCar do that. I think that's disastrous. But that could be a topic for another. Let's continue, Chris, to monitor these ratings and see where we're at. I want to see where the 500 ranks. If we can get, you said, what was it? Last year they had
7.9
million.
Well, that was for the Daytona 500.
Daytona. Okay, so 7.
I didn't have a peak for the Indy 500, but it was 7.09.
Okay.
In 25.
I think they get to the 10 million mark this year. Now, they're doing a great job promoting it. Just continue to promote. Yeah, make it more available to everybody. And I think they're starting to do that. And the popularity is just going to continue to grow.
Because, you look on like X, and like for me personally, you go right to themasters.com, and right on their homepage, you got free access. You can follow any golfer you want. You can have 4 streams up at any one time on your screen. And for all the people that say, oh, streaming's not capable, the Masters had 20 million people tuned in one time. Streaming is capable of handling high volume. And so that's kind of where I would like to see things go, is even if it's broadcast, and it's something that Darryl and I are going to get into on the other side of the break when we talk about the WEC's new broadcast rights, where they're broadcasting on TNT and HBO Max. So for instance, like the 24 hours of Le Mans, you will be able to watch flag to flag coverage on HBO Max.
Nice.
And but you'll also be able to watch it on TV on TNT. So I want to see this hybrid schedule where you can watch whatever on whatever streaming platform. You can watch it on cable, and I don't think that we can say the technology is not there, because that's kind of just a lazy excuse at this point.
Yeah, I think we need get us an IndyCar app for our televisions. I know you can watch all. I think like up to 20 onboards streaming through the website. But if you can incorporate that into an app, I think this thing can blow up. And I think that's the direction that it's going to end up going. You need to have as many options available to get as many eyeballs on this sport. Don't charge any, if you can do it without charging subscribers a ridiculous amount, I think that's going to be beneficial to grow the audience.
Yeah.
But that's a great point. I love that you brought that up, and let's dive into that. I'm going to take a look at that now and see how that goes later on. But Chris, keep crunching those numbers and let us know, after the 500, how the ratings were, and if they're continuing to go in the right direction.
Well, we'll talk about them in a month or a little more time.
I know. Good stuff, man.
All right, so Freddie, thank you
guys
for joining us. We'll be talking to you a lot in the month of May.
Absolutely.
And we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the WEC's new broadcast deal, the ARCA driving standards, particularly for one team in general. Formula One's proposed rule changes have come in for the rest of the year, and the Jason Richards Memorial Trophy was decided in Supercars. We'll talk about that on the other side of this break here on Apex to Asphalt on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon, but it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clinking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other feeling like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go.
And we're back here on Apex to Asphalt on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Darryl and Chris here to take you the rest of the way, and we will start with the World Endurance Championship. First, congratulations to Toyota, winning race number 50 in the 100 races of the championship. So they are at a even 50% in wins there. But they just inked a new deal with TNT and HBO Max in the United States. So you get flag-to-flag coverage of all 8 races. Will be live on Max. You can also purchase the WEC streaming package off their website, which is extremely affordable. And it goes back to the conversation we had just now with Freddie B about getting the access to everyone in multiple avenues, because HBO Max does have a hookup with Verizon where if you have a File subscription, you get HBO Max for free.
Do you really?
Yep. That's how I was watching MotoGP and WEC there for a little bit.
What the hell? I've been paying for Files and HBO, and I could get it for free?
Yeah, if you sign in with your Files account, you get it
Jesus
for free.
Christ.
At least you could. I don't know if it's still up now.
Dude, I've been paying $190 a year for... Ugh. Darryl, you just ruined my night. I'm gone. Bye. No. I want a refund, HBO. I did not know you could do that.
Yeah, it's been like that for a little while now.
No, don't tell me that. Just say it just started this week.
Okay. But yeah, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about. The more access, the better.
Yeah. And I think it's the best of both worlds. You can watch it on cable, you can watch it on streaming. And this is something that I got clowned on with like the Matt White, Matt Owens group for saying that it should be a hybrid where you can watch it wherever you want to watch it. and they were all clowning on me like I was some goofball. And I was just like, what's wrong with me wanting to watch on streaming?
Yes.
I don't have cable. I don't want to pay for cable. I don't want to pay for HBO now. I don't want to pay for cable either.
Well, I mean, I watch all my baseball now on streaming. I bought the
MLB.
MLB.TV package with the Nationals.TV. I get every game now, and I just turn on a game and watch it till I fall asleep. That's what I do now. I don't watch a lot of terrestrial TV. It's the apps for me now. I've kind of fallen into that, and that's where a lot of people are going, and that's where the bread's going to be buttered for motorsports and all sports going forward, really.
Absolutely. And someone, going back to a conversation we had a couple of weeks ago about being able to fight, let's talk about JGR's ARCA driver.
Oh, Lord, let's get into it. Rio, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name, so I'm too mad about it. Rio ends up, actually, I'm going to get the last name, but in the ARCA race, there was an incident that kind of draws back to some of the issues we've been having with the JGR team down there, with Gio Ruggiero getting into the back of Destiny Spurlock, who was running 10th, and just dumped her. If you look at the replay, she's following the racing line, and he's getting chased down for second, so he causes a yellow by just spinning Spurlock. How he didn't get any sort of penalty for that, I don't know. It's ARCA. And he ends up winning the race. The issue with ARCA, and I've been thinking about this, there are not enough well-funded teams to eat the cost of taking the JGR teams to the woodshed. Because the antics, and William Swalich was a part of it a couple of years ago. Gio's been doing it for a few years now. They're the only competitive cars down there, so they're only racing each other, and they just drive over everybody else. And the only reason they haven't been taken to the woodshed by somebody is everybody else, they can't risk wrecking their car because there's not that much money in ARCA.
Sorry about that. I was muted. Yeah, no, it's when we're talking about, I mean, ARCA is always kind of a crapshoot anyways, really most of the time. But, you know, something as egregious as what he did dumping, you know, on the front stretch. I mean, you know, like you were just saying, there's not a lot of money in ARCA. And so that type of behavior is just abhorrent, really. You know, a lot of these guys in ARCA particularly are just, you know, upper middle class families who are paying for the ride in hopes of getting noticed by the trucks. And I mean, just stuff like this is just unnecessary, is what it comes down to. I mean, you do more to damage your career by acting like a bonehead in ARCA than winning 100, well, not 100 races, but dumping someone in a stupid way is more impactful than 2 or 3 race wins.
Yeah. And Destiny is driving for, and she was my driver of the week last week, Destiny Spurlock, the first African-American woman to drive in ARCA. Made her first National Series start at Kansas, went from 29th to 10th on Saturday afternoon. Driving for MBM, we know that team they're running on a shoestring budget as it is. And to her credit, she saved it. That car was at like a 100-degree angle, and she kept it off the wall, didn't hit anything, was able to come back and finish 10th. So good car control for her, but the JGR cars, they got to get it together. They're running over people, especially Gio, he wrecked his own teammate doing this at Rockingham a few weeks ago. They got to work that out of him, because that is not going to fly if he gets into one of the top 3 touring series.
Yeah, absolutely not going to fly. You will find yourself out of a ride real quick.
So we'll see how that goes with ARCA. They're going to Talladega. Cletus McFarlane and his friend, I swear to God, this is his racing name, Squirrel McNutt, will be involved in the race. We'll see how that goes.
This is a real racing series, folks.
Yep. Legitimate racing series, everybody.
Squirrel McNutt.
Yep.
I would say you can't make this up, but that is a made-up name. So it is, in fact, made up.
Anyway, let's talk about some actual racing. Let's talk about Repco Supercars. That's always fun.
Yeah.
Chevrolet has not had a good year. We've seen they have struggled outside of the first race at Sydney. And the Erebus boss, Barry Ryan, kind of threw the manufacturer and his own drivers under a Mack truck in the run-up to Christchurch. He admits that Chevrolet has no A-plus drivers, and that's us being sanitizing of what he said. He really took the drivers to the woodshed.
Though no A-plus drivers is a direct quote.
Yeah, but there was worse
But there was
as well.
there was more to it.
Yeah. There was a lot more to it. That's the nice part of the quote.
Yeah.
The rest of it was pretty bad. But he says that GM changed the balance 3% to the front, and teams are struggling with the setups. Erebus themselves have found no success in the drivers. Cooper Murray and Job Stewart are P22 and 24 in the standings. Not a great time for Erebus, but
And when he said that, they were 23 and 24 in the standings. I updated it this morning because Cooper Murray jumped up to P22.
Yeah.
Big step.
Big steps. It's a struggle for Chevy right now. They changed the front end. I think they did the same change in NASCAR, and they are struggling with it themselves.
And in that, so I kind of cut the quote off, but Barry Ryan did say that he pleaded with GM not to do it because they threw away their entire playbook when they changed that. So all of the setups that T8 built as the homologation team are out the window. So, we look at Brock Feeney, who won like 14, like almost 50% of the races last year. And they can't use any of the setups that T8 used last year because they just decided to throw it all out the window.
That's rough.
So GM has kind of shot themselves in the foot. But what I think, and it's a conversation for another time because we're kind of pressed, but if I was Erebus or really any like Team 18 or any of these Chevrolet teams, I might say to GM, can I get an up-and-coming trucks or no apps driver to come over? I think I want to, because if I'm Barry Ryan saying that Chevrolet or the GM camp has no A-plus drivers, I'm saying to GM, hey, can I get one of your development drivers down here? Bring a little star power or like a little recognition down here to Australia, but also maybe somebody, because right now on the field, there are 24 drivers, full-time drivers. 20 of them are Australian. 4 of them are Kiwis from New Zealand. So if I'm Chevy and I see that we are not getting anything done, I think I'm considering a driver change, and I want to look outside and see if I can bring some other fans in, but also, a little shot across the bow to everybody saying, we're reaching. We plucked SVG. We plucked a Hall of Fame multi-time champion away from supercars, a superstar. And I'm saying that, and we'll talk about the Jason Richards Memorial Trophy here in a minute.
Yep,
but
right there.
But yeah, I mean, NASCAR plucked supercars shining star, and if I'm supercars, I'm saying, send me Tyler Reddick.
I don't think they're going to get Tyler Reddick at this point. They got to
No.
pry him out of Michael Jordan's cold
They
dead
they
hands.
should have when he was in Richard Childress's camp.
I think Tyler would have went anywhere after that. And
Yeah.
trust me, there's going to be plenty. That guy, Richard Childress, I got to know what's going through his head every time he sees Tyler Reddick pick up a win.
Yeah, that's what I texted you today. I was like, I wish I could be a fly on that wall every time.
I know it's nothing nice, but
Yeah. But let's get into Christchurch 440, but actually
Yes.
560.
yeah. But before we do that, let's get into what the trophy that they were running for and its importance. That is the Jason Richards Memorial Trophy, which we just saw on the screen. Jason Richards was born in Nelson, New Zealand, and found a lot of success in development series on his way to the top series, then the V8 supercars, now Repco supercars. Jason raced in the series from 2000 to 2010, where he secured a race win in 2006 and finished runner-up in the Bathurst 1000 twice, in 2005 and 2009, and then P3 in his final year in 2010. Jason was diagnosed with adrenocortical carcinoma in November of 2010. Unfortunately, Jason lost his battle with cancer on December 15th, 2011. He is survived by his wife Charlotte and daughters Sienna and Olivia. Starting in 2013, the Jason Richards Memorial Trophy is awarded to the driver who scores the most points in New Zealand, which up until this year was just the 3 races that made up the Taupo 440. In 2026, the addition of Christchurch increases that from 3 races to 6. The Jason Richards Memorial Trophy has since become one of the most emotional trophies awarded in supercars. Another former teammate of Richards, Jamie Whincup, has won the GR Memorial Trophy twice as a driver. And Whincup, as an owner and a team principal, added 3 more wins. Shane Van Gisbergen, pictured here, a fellow Kiwi to Richards, has won the trophy a record 3 times. And another Kiwi had a chance at winning that race this weekend.
You did miss that the first JR Memorial Trophy was won by Jason Bright of Brad Jones Racing, which was Jason Richards' last teammate and the last team that he raced for. Mm-hmm. And that really cemented, almost not even putting it close to Dale Jr. coming back and winning Daytona, but there wasn't a dry eye in Taupo. Or, well, it wasn't Taupo back then, but there wasn't a dry eye in New Zealand when Bright won that back in 2013.
And there's never a dry eye when someone wins this trophy.
No, I mean, you can
Jason
see
Richards he was a good guy.
Yeah, I mean, in this photo, you can see this is SVG's 3rd time winning it, and you can see he's tearing up. I mean, this is one of the most impactful and emotionally charged trophies that you win in supercars. And, you know, we talked about Jamie Whincup, who's still around, was a teammate of his back in 05, I believe, 05 or 06. But a lot of these guys knew Jason Richards or, you know, grew up watching him. So it's a really impactful trophy to win. So if you want to we'll get started with Friday. So Darryl, I blew your phone up right as the green flag dropped on the grid, the starting grid. 3 cars got together, and towards the end of Sector 1, as the leaders are coming around, yellow flags and the safety car board were displayed to drivers in the second half of Sector 2. So, you know, just 20 seconds later or so, the top 4 cars took off from the rest of the pack, as it was determined the track officials were not instructed to display the flags or the board. It was quite controversial, and there were no penalties issues. I think they should have been reset and the race restarted, but they let it run on and said no action necessary.
Yeah, I think if there's a mistake that big, you should probably reset the race. I don't know how safety car boards and flags are coming out, but it wasn't commanded. I guess people are just assuming.
Yeah, and in the same release, they say that you go by what the track officials, if there's a yellow flag out, a safety car board, you go by that. And then later they said, well, we didn't tell them to do it, so we are not going to do anything about it. Race on. So it's quite conflicting. But anyways, let's move on to let's move on to something a little more positive, which is Kai Allen.
Yeah, Kai Allen ends up picking up the win, and a strategy call taking rear tires only. Had to defend against Chaz Mostert and Brody Kostecki, each of whom had 4 fresh tires, but a statement win for Kai Allen, taking on 2 former champions and getting his first win. And he has been the strongest in the Toyota by far this year. So Kai picking up that win picking up his first win, in the Toyota Supra and his first time overall. And on Sunday, Ryan Wood.
Kai's
go ahead.
Penrite, which is Ford.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
It's late.
You're thinking of Ryan Wood, who is
yes, I'm thinking of Ryan Wood.
who is next, who is the name right below Kai Allen on our show notes. So I will forgive you because you were reading the wrong line.
It's late, y'all. I got a lot going on. I got wedding prep and everything going on in my head. But anyway, so yeah, Kai Allen gets his first win in a Ford, and going into Sunday for the Jason Reed Memorial Trophy, Ryan Wood had 33 points, was 33 points clear of Brody Kostecki, and 51 points clear of Brock Feeney. Mathematically speaking, nobody else was in contention. Even Kostecki and Feeney.
Yeah.
So we go into Sunday, and late in the racing on Sunday, Ryan Wood suffers a mysterious mechanical failure that ends his day. The 17-point lead he had was not going to be enough. In the final laps, there was a safety car that bunched up the field with Feeney and Kostecki tied on points, and this is where things get a little bit crazy.
So Feeney and
Kostecki, go ahead.
Yeah, so Feeney and Kostecki were both where their cars were on speed, meaning they were where they were supposed to be.
Okay.
Any passes for position would be a late lunge and a prayer that it sticks.
Which we saw, and Kostecki ended up getting booted.
Yeah, so Feeney had the tiebreaker, so he knew that actually Feeney had no radio throughout this whole race, which personally, if I'm going to not be a hypocrite, I say he should have been parked from the beginning. Because yes. I do think if you don't have radio, you should not be allowed to race. So even as a Brock Feeney fan, he should have been parked. But Feeney had the tiebreaker, so he was pretty content. The Penrite Ford Mustang boys were ahead of him, and he was never going to get by them. Chaz Mostert was ahead of Brody Kostecki, and Kostecki just did not have what it took to get by Mostert. So on the restart, Kostecki had one opportunity to get by Mostert, and he attempted it. Mostert puts Kostecki out into the dirt, out into the grass, and Kostecki loses control. And my boy Brock Feeney, who they don't have a photo of it yet, but there's that beautiful car. He ends up being awarded the 2026 Jason Richard Memorial Trophy.
And congratulations to him. The next time we will see the supercars will be 1 month and 2 days from now, May 22nd through the 24th at the Tire Power Tasmania Super 440, and that will be an awesome nightcap before the Indy 500. But that May 24th race is going to be on Saturday here in the United States, so we're going to be messing up our sleep schedule again, but we're used to it at this point.
Yeah, and thank you to Red Bull for finally putting photos up. I've been checking like daily for months to get photos of these new 888 Ford Mustangs. They're finally here, so thank you, Red Bull Content Pool. Could have been a month sooner, but thank you so much. And whenever it's convenient, please post pictures of the New Zealand swing, because this is back at Sydney, if you recognize Albert Park. But it's a placeholder photo.
Yeah, I need this car as a diecast, by the way. It is gorgeous.
I do too, but it is multiple hundreds of dollars.
Of course it is.
But
then you got to have it flown over here, probably. So
yeah, resolution though on my my Max car behind me here, the Japanese Grand Prix from last year. After fighting with FedEx, I owe no tariffs and no charge. No charge for paying the tariff because they didn't pay the tariff. They just billed me for it.
Yep. And speaking of tariffs, they're supposed to be starting the refund process this week. So
yeah,
we'll see how that goes. Actually, it's supposed to start today. So we'll see how all of that gets propped up. But we are right up against it. Let's do Driver of the Week. Each week, Chris and I nominate a driver rider of the week. Sometimes there's a performance so outstanding that we have no choice but to unanimously nominate someone. But most weeks, we trade paint. Chris, who's your nomination?
I'm voting for Kai Allen. Unfortunately, we're right against our time, so we don't have time to debate this. Next week, we have virtually nothing to talk about, so we're going to rehash this. But Kai Allen, as we talked about, tire strategy puts him out, or pit strategy puts him out ahead of the field with 2 old tires in the front, 2 new tires in the rear, and he has a virtually half a race defending against Chas Mostert and Brody Kostecki, picking up his first career win in supercars, and he's got to do it the old-fashioned way, defending against multiple series champions. So, Darryl, who do you got?
So I kind of hedge my bets here because usually it's driver, and I'm going to be the first time to go drivers of the week. And it's Sebastian Buemi, Ryu Hirakawa, and Brendan Hartley, the drivers of the number 8 Toyota TR10 Hybrid, who picked up the 50th win for Toyota in World Endurance Championship competition. Toyota has been on the struggle bus the last couple of years in WEC competition. They've had the oldest car on the grid for quite some time. And during the off season, the engineers went to work, refreshed the Toyota TSR 10, and they brought it out this weekend and took it to the championship winners last year in Ferrari and came home with the win. So the number 8 Toyota Hybrid team, because in endurance racing, it's not just one driver, it's all 3 that have to get it done. They are my drivers of the week.
I think you got to extend that out because that was a strategy masterclass. The triple stint, those first tires gained all that track position. So I think our unanimous is going to have to be, if we couldn't pick a driver, the real MVPs of this week, overarching in the motorsport world, has to be that pit wall for Toyota.
Absolutely agree. That is a ballsy strategy call. And to triple stint tires, I know the WEC tires are pretty much indestructible, but even still, to triple stint it and still have the performance to gain track position, which ultimately wins you the race. Not only does that say that the engineers did a great job during the off season, those on the pit box, they did a great job understanding the quirks of that car during the test session, and it borne out in Imola. And that is something that goes into the notebook when we talk about Le Mans, June 13th and 14th, which I'll be watching precisely none of, because there's going to be something a little bit more important going on that weekend.
You'll be watching it. Yeah, it's going to be on your phone.
I'm not going to have my phone.
In your pocket.
I'm not going to have my phone that day.
Uh-huh. Your smart watch is going to be sending you hourly updates on where the running is.
Yeah. If I don't want to get an annulment that day, I'm going to need to not do that. But
I'll give you updates every time I see you.
Oh God, please do. So that is it for this edition of Apex Asphalt. Coming up this weekend, not a whole lot. NASCAR will be in Talladega this weekend. You can watch those races on FS1, Fox, and the CW. Supercross will be in East Rutherford, New Jersey. We are coming quickly to the end of the indoor season for Supercross, and the outdoor awaits. That'll be on Peacock, and the NHRA. They will be in action in Charlotte for the 4 wide. You can watch that on FS1 and NHRA.tv. So that'll do it for this edition of the Apex to Asphalt. Chris, tell them what to do.
At the end of the day, I'm not going to do my usual because this, I do want to bring it back to the very real consequences. It's been a really fun night. I've loved the conversation, and Darryl and I, we love spending our Monday evenings here talking with you about the world of motorsports. We feel a buzz of excitement as we prepare to talk about speed, technology, and the competition. And as fun as tonight was, it was different. It was heavier. And so at the end of the day, we lost 2 people from the motorsports community, one a fan, one a driver, a veteran amateur driver. And so just my thoughts and prayers go out to with both families and just everybody who is impacted by these tragic losses. So with that, just a more somber good night this week, Darryl.
We're going to go ahead and exit without our usual pomp and circumstance as well, in honor of those that we tragically lost this weekend, both to the 25-year-old in South America and to the family and friends of Juha Metiainen, who we tragically lost during the NLS race on Saturday. This has been Apex to Asphalt, and we are going to leave with a moment of silence. We will see you guys next week.